What is going on, everyone? I'm back down here in the Vic High Country in Bright, well, actually down here in the Buckland Valley. I'm about to jump back up Goldie Spur and head along the Buffalo Ranges all the way out to Mount Murray. So it seems like an incredible trip because it's basically all just ridgeline driving, so it should be pretty damn good. Yeah, that's enough for me. We'll head onto the tracks now, and then once I get up there, once I get onto the tracks, I'll kind of give you guys an idea of the exact routes I'm going to be taking and the tracks I'm going to be doing. So I'll let the air out of the tires and we'll head off. So my highway pressures are about 40 at the moment, so I figured I'll drop them all down to about 24 on all four corners, and that should be sweet. All right, looks like it's going to be a beautiful day today, so start the car up and I'll get going, eh? It should be good. Alrighty, so I'm just heading up Goldie Spur at the moment. I won't include too much of Goldie Spur because I've already done this track and, you know, recorded and showed a lot of it back in December. So I'll link that video in the description. So if you want to have a better idea of Goldie Spur, because Goldie Spur is still a sensational track. But basically, I'm going to head up Goldie Spur to the top of the ridgeline section of Goldie Spur, jump onto the Yarrabuck track, the Buffalo Range track. And so from what I understand, those two tracks combined form one of the longest ridgeline tracks in all of the high country, and it's meant to be sensational views. And then from that, jump onto the Mount Selwyn Road, the Great Dividing Range track, Selwyn Creek Road, the Twinge Jeep track, and then the Mount Murray track up to the summit of Mount Murray, which is where I'm hoping to camp tonight. And then tomorrow morning, back down the Mount Murray track onto the Twinge track, which will get me back out onto the Great Alpine Road, Hotham Heights. So there's a few different tracks to link up, but all in all, it's only about 75 kilometers of driving. So it's not overly long at all. So yeah, this should be a good drive. So let's get on it. All right, here we are, Yarrabuck track. So straight up, you got a bit of a climb. It's nothing too steep, but yeah, so this should be a cracking drive. As soon as I got home from the last high country trip, I straight away looked into the old four-wheel drive high country Bible, aka the HEMA guide and atlas for the high country, and this route straight away caught my eye. And then, as you do, I went onto YouTube to see if I could find any info, and I found Jason from Off the Beaten Path. So I got to give a shout out to him because he's got 3 videos that are awesome, like details this track super well. And when I saw the views that you get, I was like, yeah, I got to do this, because he says he reckons it's one of the longest ridgeline tracks in all the high country, at about 30 kilometers. So I was like, oh, I've got to do it, man. And then I saw Mount Murray and I was like, that looks superb to camp on top. So here I am. I felt it might be a nice way to transition from easy tracks up to the slightly more difficult ones. So, and I'm up the, right here, we're at the Yarrabuck track trig now. That was quick. Here we are, the trig point for the Yarrabuck track. I've got to say the trig point came up quicker than I expected it to. I didn't realize it'd appear so sudden, but yeah, you got sensational views, man. Like out towards Mount Buffalo there, the Buckland Valley down there. This is absolutely bloody tremendous. Oh, I'm loving it already, and I haven't even come half a kilometer up yet. Let's get on it. I saw these forestry trucks up here. I got so stressed. I'm like, oh man, don't tell me the track is closed. Like, I checked every website, the track seemed open, but nah, they're just working their way along. So Look at that climb straight ahead. This will be the first kind of decent climb. That'll kind of challenge me a bit. That was a nice climb. That was awesome. There we are, the views, man. Wow. Opens up straight away. As soon as I kind of came out of the trees, it opens up now. That is brilliant. Look at that view right ahead, man. That is awesome. That's what you come to the high country for. That is, wow, that is magnificent. Magnificent. This is a great track so far. Rough, rocky, quite a lot of steep sections, but they're not, there was only a few overly steep sections, but otherwise it's just pretty rocky, as you'd expect in high country. But yeah, this is a great track so far. Brilliant. All right, here we are just at the intersection at the start of the Buffalo Range track. So I'll just stop here, have a bit of something to eat, something to drink, give the old girl a bit of a cool down, and then get back on the track. Go. Get onto the start of the Buffalo Range track. Keep going from there. This should be cracker. So this is definitely the steepest section so far. Definitely fairly steep, but surface is actually pretty firm, so traction is fine actually. So yeah, it's just, you know, quite steep, but traction is pretty good. The views out the left are sensational yet again. We've got a pretty rough section up here, very rocky, very rocky and loose, but it's not too bad. But yeah, it's probably the most challenging section of the track so far. Trying to keep your eyes on the road and the view on the right. Look at that straight ahead. You probably won't be able to see it in the GoPro, but my God, look at the way that the track snakes up. That is a big climb. Wow. That's sensational. Look at that. The track is just like roller coasters, snakes through there, all the way there. It's just open up now, and yeah, you get to see as you go up and down the hills, you get to see what's in front of you, and that right there, that's a fairly decent climb. So should be interesting, but give the old girl a bit of a rest. Such an epic track. This is exceptional so far. Tremendous. We got a nice descent here, and it just climbs. Let's go. Steepest section of the track so far. Jeez. That's pretty friggin' steep. Oh yeah, that's well steep. Climb that's a long ass climb, bloody hell. That is sensational, man. Holy moly. What is this place? What do we have here? Oh, look at that. Oh, that's a bummer. Oh, well, I've done a bit of investigating, and it seems like it might have been taken out by a bird because there's a bit of blood there. So I reckon a bird wasn't too happy that it was there and has just taken a swing at it, and they tell you what, he's done a pretty good job at it. I'm not going to be able to do any rolling repairs on that because as you can see, the cables are all gone, but oh well, no more drone footage for the rest of this trip, unfortunately. All right, that was a bit of a time detour. Kind of sucks about the drone, but it is what it is. That's a problem for me to deal with when I'm back in Sydney, so let's continue on. Look at this bloody descent. Jesus. How good is this place, man? Whoa, phenomenal. You don't need blue rags, just come out here, half the difficulty. This is sick. Look at that, the track still winds its way all the way there. Oh man. Unreal. I don't know how many times I can say it, but gotta love the Vic High Country. Gotta love it. Fuck! Look at that! How good is this place? Take a look at that hill straight ahead. I'm pretty sure that's a hill that I've got to go up. That is, that is super steep. Yeah, that looks like it'll be the steepest hill of the track so far. Jeez, that's... I mean, I've got no doubt the GoPro's not going to do this place justice with not just the views, but the steepness of some of these sections. You know, definitely the steepest tracks I've ever done. But they are bloody, some of them are pretty gnarly. Oh, that is steep. All right, just about to go up this hill, and that is steep. As you come, we'll come around this tree now, and you'll see. Fuck. Yeah, she's a steep one, all right. Try and stick to the right because it's less rocky on the right. We'll see how many times the traction light flashes. Hasn't flashed yet. That's good. Yep, there we go. Lost it a bit there. Oh. Jesus. Yeah, she's loose up this hill, I tell you what. Bloody hell. Spitting out rocks and kicking up the dust. Oh man, yeah, that is stunning. Wow, man, that's out of this world. It's just something else. So good, man. Immediately at the end of the Buffalo Range track, and then it shouldn't be too further to Mount Murray, but I don't know. Lost for words. Lost for words, man. Like, ah. Turning onto the Mount Selwyn Road, I just stopped there for a bit to put a pizza in the oven, because that way I can have something ready to eat once I get to camp. So I think Mount Selwyn Road is just a regular gravel forestry road, so hopefully I can make up some time. Yeah, here we are on the Great Dividing Range track. I missed it on the way back because it was hidden. It was a really tight switchback and it was hidden behind all the bushes and trees and stuff, but it's meant to be a real nice track to connect Mount Selwyn Road to Selwyn Creek Road, so. Coming into the Twins Jeep track now. Looks like it's a seasonally closed track. So this will link me up to the Mount Murray track. So it's a bit overgrown, a bit tight, but let's get on it. I'll admit I get a bit worried every time I see the word Jeep in any kind of four-wheel drive track, because normally that means it's going to be a pretty gnarly track. But I've been told by several people this is not a gnarly track at all. It's pretty much just like all the other ones. So we'll see. We will see. Here we are, the track up to Mount Murray. So I've heard this is the roughest part of the whole drive, so we'll see how she goes. It's only about 2 kilometers to the summit, so it should be a great one. I'm going to get those views tomorrow morning, but the views out the back are sensational. That is so good. It's definitely rougher and much rockier than all the other tracks, but luckily it's not as steep. I think if it was steeper than this, it'd be definitely a bit harder, but it's just got a constant pitch to it, but it's not steep. So that's the one thing saving it from being too difficult or too much of a challenge. can't actually drive up to the summit of Mount Murray because there's a locked gate there. So you just walk a couple hundred meters. Look at it above the clouds. This is remarkable, man. Outstanding. I've seen people get their vehicles up here before, so that, I don't know, it must have been open a few years ago and now they've decided to shut it. I don't know. Look at that, man. This is impeccable. Where's my thesaurus? Look at that. Rainbow there. You see those clouds there, the smoke clouds there. You still got the bushfires burning. I'm not too sure where that is. Tell you what, it's days and moments like this that just make you appreciate life and appreciate the fact that we live in a country like this where we've got access to places as incredible as this. It's a bit of a privilege, really. Like, this place is stunning. Just can't get over this place, man. Like, it doesn't matter the amount of times I say it. This place is super special. And I'm just keep kicking myself as to why it's taken me so long to do a trip down here. This is the second trip down here, but even 5 months ago, that was my first time in the Vic High Country, and I just don't know why it took me that long. Look at this. It's unreal. Alright, good morning everyone. Just finished up the night up in Mount Murray. It was a bit of a sleepless night because it was pretty windy, as you could imagine when you're up at 1600 meters, but still bloody sensational spot to camp, man. So incredible. Had a beautiful sunrise this morning, sunset last night with all the low clouds, like you're above the clouds. That was phenomenal as well, so highly recommend it. So I'm just heading back down the Mount Murray track. Look at the view in front, man. That's something else. Just gonna head back to the Great Alpine Road now. but I've still got the twins track to go. So apparently the twins track is meant to be a really, really scenic track as well. So we'll get onto that. Yeah, the view's just somehow it's even better on the way down. Like, just when you think the view's amazing on the way up, come down in the morning and that is outstanding. And you got the low-lying fog in the valley, and as that rising, just creates that awesome light that hits the mountains. Something else, man, something else. Just look at this, dude, look at it. God damn. Out of this world. This place is so special. Yeah, those clouds that I'm talking about down there, far out. Alrighty, straight ahead is the twins track, and that'll get me all the way back to Great Alpine Road, so about 12 kilometers, I believe. Yeah, about 12, 13 Ks. And I think the views just carry on pretty much how they were, so not far to go now. A nice look out here on the side of the twins track. I believe there's a few of them. You can kind of set up camp and you got two awesome views either side. But as you can tell, it's fully exposed. So I probably wouldn't camp here on a day like today where it's real windy. But yeah, great little viewpoint. Great country. Alrighty, I'm all finished up now. As I'm sure you can hear, I'm just airing back up. So this turned out to be a bloody amazing track. All the tracks were just phenomenal. So it's been brilliant. You know, HEMA ranks them as easy medium. New tracks is the same easy medium tracks, and it's pretty much accurate. Like, there's a few tricky sections that a bit challenging, but overall it's awesome for someone, you know, like myself, who's a bit of a novice with four-wheel driving and wanted to go up another level without going too far out there and too extreme. And this is, I think this is a perfect step up. It was brilliant. You get everything, you know, you get a bit of a challenge to kind of test yourself, and yeah, the amazing high country views. So I would recommend this for anyone, not even if you're trying to go up that level. If you're an experienced four-wheel driver, these tracks, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So that's it from me for today. I'm going to head into Bright for some breakfast and coffee. So see you guys on the next one, eh? Catch you later.